evening, good people, and welcome to another community presentation of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Tournament, Chaos's Winter Carnival. I am Saracen, joined in the booth tonight by the notable Woat. Woat, how the heck you doing, man?
Doing pretty all right. This was sort of a last minute thing that we managed to pull together thanks to, well, you and Flower Power and ADR. But we are here and we are live.
Heck yeah, we are. So tonight we have Life Reboot versus Climinteedus, which I think is a great matchup. I think they're pretty evenly matched runners. And I know this is his first match of the pod round. Just hasn't scheduled everything all that far out yet. But for Life Reboot, this is his last match of the pods, and he's had kind of a rough go of it. Currently 0-2. So we'll have to see how things shake out this run.
So we, I believe, have a fighter, white mage force start, and I believe at least one of our runners is going with double red mage to fill in their ranks. There we go. All right, so we got fighter red mage white none and fighter thief red mage white. So just real quick, we do have the fighter starting with bonus hit percent, bonus in defense, but they can't put on pro rings. Fighter red, you're fine. Red mages get resistance to lightning and status. They get a luck bonus, but they cannot learn Invis 2. You find a white shirt, that's fine. White mages get 800 GP off the jump, immediate ability to cast exit, and start off with 15 less HP. You'll level up, that's fine. And thieves start with a thief sword bonus and the ability to equip.
You're looking at the black belts, my friend.
Okay, you're right.
Thief is 10 vitality and equip gauntlet and helmet, but minus 150 gold. So taking that thief is a slight cut, but because you were forced into the white mage with plus 800, you got a healthy start to your finances.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I definitely was looking at the black belt, not the thief.
That would have been a very confusing blessing.
Why do you think I sounded confused, Saracen? Do you think that was because it was confusing?
Perhaps. All right, yeah. And we are off.
So, right out the gate, spell-wise, we are seeing a Rub and Fog too, but that nuke is the star of the show.
It is so tempting to reset and reformat your party when you see that. The Fog 2 is white mage learnable. It's really, to me, the only spell worth picking up, and even then it's sort of a hedge against Invis 2 not being super available.
And we start with a black shirt plus 4. As our free AoE item. And the equipment here in Canaria has all looked incredibly solid. I think we saw plus 5 falchions, among other things.
Climinteedus already into Toph and finding a cabin off the bat.
Mm-hmm. And immediately getting kicked back, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like something in the Gurant pack took him out. So,
yeah,
not sure what's going on there. Just a little bit of stream problems. We get a key off of the King and the canal off of Sarah. This is a really solid start.
Of course, you realize this means that the ship is like buried in Ice Cave, right?
I have lived that life, yes. So, flip side, we pull the floater out of this chest, and it's just a dumb seed. That was a Sun Sword plus 2 and a Defense Sword minus 2. Oh, this is a start, all right. Oh, we get the slab. Okay.
Okay.
The very disappointing slab.
Yeah, but that Sun plus 2.
That Sun plus 2 is a real sword.
Yeah. Like, that's basically end-game quality. If you don't find anything else, you can still finish the game off of that. it looks like whatever took Climinteedus out, Life Reboot managed to get around and is rewarded with some decent iron armor and a rolled up gold bracelet. So
That's a nice money save, getting the gold bracelet out of a chest.
yeah, and the fact that it's a +1 gold is very nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll agree that the +5 falchion is definitely not bad. Like, I almost would be tempted to leave the falchion on my fighter and throw the sun sword on my red mage, just in case I need to conserve nuke shots, at least until mid-game.
Alright, Climinteedus getting the jump on whatever it was that caused the problem in the Gurant pack before.
Meanwhile, Reboot also swapping that falchion down.
Ale, the Vorpal +3 is still a sword that exists. Unlike, say, the Masa.
The nice thing about having that +4 black shirt, though, is if we do find a black belt, we can slap that on there, and that black belt's going to be very resilient until we can actually stack some levels. But yeah, we are definitely seeing some minor difficulties on our side, but I'm sure it'll get cleared up soon enough. But assuming that y'all can see what's going on, I'm sure it'll be fine. But we do get a vanilla ship, so the world is now officially our oyster, which is really nice. Okay, so yeah, we're having a little bit of difficulty on the back end seeing some stuff, but it's probably just a Discord issue.
We can hope, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's a lot better on our end. That's nice.
Alright, yeah, a little bit of turning it off and on again fixes it.
So, level 2 Fade, very nice. Invis 2 as well.
Yeah, Black Magic, only thing really worth picking up is probably either Hold or Confusion if we don't find a better way to deal with carry.
Hold and Carry are some curse words in my head right now after last night's race. So I don't know if you got to see that, but she 3 and 256 my 42 black belt. It was ugly.
You just hold her back.
I wish. He was alone and got punched down to 45 hit points before I was able to take care of her.
Yeah.
It was very scary. I'd been grinding in there. Alright, Life Reboot had checked the Toph locked, and I missed what the items were, but here we are. Climinteedus getting Warp and Life 2 on that Red Mage. Real solid pickups.
2 also available for Black Magic. Considering we haven't seen Fast yet, I would think about grabbing that on my Red Mage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just as if we don't have Fast, we can at least make sure more of our swings hit. Insurance. And yeah, we did also see Harm 3 at level 3 white. We do have the improved Harm flag on that allows white mages to hit anything in the game with the Harm spell. Which is very nice for some AoE non-elemental damage.
So Climinteedus taking the Marsh Dive while Life Reboot was doing the Toph cleanup. With the shipping canal, the world is very, very open right now. And this is a reasonable early play. You've got Exit, you've got Warp, you have plenty of tools to deal with everything here.
Yeah.
At the same time, man, do I love getting out of here and doing ordeals in Bahamut.
Yeah. Well, I can't blame Climinteedus for this play. With the shipping canal already in hand, he knows that all of these fairly quick inner sea checks are freely available in terms of not being a zonk. However, they are apparently filled with violent scorpions.
Yes.
And I don't
They're
think he has that life. Oh, he does have life too. Cool. So, doing some
smartly
quick repair
spreading out
work.
smartly spreading out those charges between the red and the white.
Yeah. Um, I like the combination of run away, but also shoot behind me in case I don't run before the scorpions get a shot. It looks like we have a frost giant and his pets today, guarding whatever's in this box.
Yeah, starting out with mute, which is super rude. And we get the chicken, which is our ruby.
Yep.
That is going to open up 2 incentive checks for the runners, because Titan's Trove and Sarda both have items at them.
I would say I would be surprised if Clem doesn't hit up those level 4 shops in Elfland just to see what's there, and then go ahead and go do those checks, because you can do that, go back to your boat, and then sail on down to Crescent Lake to check the sage there and get 3 checks knocked out in rapid succession.
Yeah, and I agree with that as an option. I think you get just as much density heading to Ordeals and Vomit and potentially Waterfall. You can save on the open water and check the Crescent Lake Sage if you want. There's lots of ways to route this. I don't think that there's a specific right way. I just know that Ordeals has burned me every single seed, so I have a bit of confirmation bias.
Deals is definitely an option that you like. The thing is like the best time to check the Melmond area before you have an airship is right when you leave the inner sea. So I figure, so my thinking is just you have the option. You can go ahead and at least knock out that long walk. Yeah, there is a chance that you may be able to find a floater and make it a very quick trip, but I'm generally against making decisions where you hold off on doing something you can do in the anticipation of being able to do it faster later. Because that's an easy way to get burned.
Yeah, like I said, I think I see it either way. Clem choosing to canoe over to Crescent Lake, which there's a couple of thoughts that I have on here. Oh, there's our shop item Oxy Ale, which is nice to know that it's there. It's not hard required, because we only need to clear 2 Fiend dungeons.
But we haven't seen access to any of the others. That Oxy Ale means we only need the loot for Go mode.
Mm-hmm.
Since in theory we can grab that Oxy Ale. And for the benefit of folks who may be joining us for the first time and haven't caught many of these races, the way that these flags are set up, you only need to kill 2 Fiends. It can be any 2 Fiends. Since carry is already available because Volcano is open access, there's no item requiring it, as long as you can get into one other Fiend dungeon, you can fulfill that part of the requirements. And then all you need is the key and the loot in order to actually access the final dungeon. And it looks like Clem is chasing Ice Cave.
So I don't hate it, but I don't like the routing he's choosing to take to get there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I feel like it's not a bad... Well, yeah, I wouldn't call it a bad play, because he can take that TNT and circle back around to his boat. It's just a slow route.
Yeah, I would have rather gone back to the boat, turned in the TNT, and sailed over to the river entrance on the outside of the continent to take advantage of your fast boat, be able to get back to other checks faster. But I think this, again, is a very reasonable play. Ooh, stop on the images.
We'll see what busts out. But yeah, that white mage having that. No, she doesn't have the status resistance. Whatever. Anyway. So, Life Reboot grabbing the ruby, gonna bail as well. Gonna go ahead and check some of these other... Gonna go ahead and check the better trap treasure here in Marsh. I
like that. We haven't seen Temper yet, so we don't know if our power bonk is down here.
Flame Sword.
So funny story, the red mage is the one that has the status resistance, and it's been hit twice by the stop.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think I may not be remembering Stop's elemental affinity.
It's definitely status.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. Like, are we sure that Stop is status?
So, even the resistance isn't going to get you like 100% coverage, but because it's a group target spell, it just kind of tells us that the third slot is a bad slot for the RNG, because your 3 and 256 are placed in slots. Well, actually, no, it's group target, so it's going to get around that. I mean, it could just be a 3 and 256 twice in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gross.
We are also still modest level, so it could just be a matter of, you know, that resistance cuts a lot off, but it isn't perfect.
Right.
Question, chat, was any of the party forced? Yeah, the fighter and white mage was forced by the seed. So both runners opted for a red mage. Life Reboot took a thief, where Climinteedus decided to just take a nun. So
Climinteedus getting the tail out of ice, which really solidifies go south, young man. We get our promotion from Bahamut. Then we go take care of ordeals and potentially waterfall.
The good news, we do find our fast here in Melmond. I don't think we peeped the white magic shop yet. So there's no telling what's in there. But I'm not really sure we're missing much on the white side. I guess we're still looking possibly for a Cure 4. Maybe a second set of life casts.
Heal 3 would be nice.
True. We did at least see Heal 2 in Elfland at level 4, so we can make it work.
This is a very scary gator on Climinteedus' side, as both party members down on the knee, and a dead white mage. Right, we get the bottle out of Titan's Trove, so not immediately useful, as we don't have a way to get to Gaia yet.
Flame Shield, that's not the worst thing for that fighter. Like, Flame Shield -1, not great, not bad. So, Life Reboot, gonna go ahead and let us see what the Sage has.
There's a floater.
This is why you follow that ruby.
Hey,
you find it on the inner sea.
I'm telling you though, I've been burned by ordeals having the floater so many times in this flag set.
But here's the thing: if you follow the sage, you follow the Titan, you cut down to the other sage, you're right there. If you want to go check ordeals after, you don't have the floater after all of that. Like, there is a fairly clean route you can take with a ruby in hand when you leave the inner sea.
That's true.
Again, I'm just of the opinion, whatever time you theoretically save by delaying chasing the ruby, on average, I feel like you lose more often than not if the floater does land in one of those spots.
So, you know, just as a thinking about the direction of the seed here, wherever we find the loot, that really is our actual go mode, right? Because We can buy the Oxyale, we can do Volcano and see. Then we just need to get levels and maybe equipment. Um, so effectively, we are down to a loot hunt. We get a rod from the TNT turn-in. Thanks, Narek. That
So,
opens up a different
Saracen,
dungeon.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you more of a Oxyale or Rod player? Like when you have the choice between chasing after Lich or chasing after Kraken, which one do you prefer?
So there's a lot of variables to that. But the first variable that I have to consider is, did I need to go to Waterfall? If I have the Oxyale and I needed to go to Waterfall, I'm gonna go do C. And C is, I think from a step count perspective, it's the second shortest dungeon behind Volcano, because Volcano you have all of the lava tiles to step on and you never actually get punished for being there. Uh, then Sky is my next preference, but the thing is that Earth being so low level, it's so easy to knock out, and it's just it has a really really long forced step path, and I hate it.
Yeah, like I I generally like, I haven't gotten a chance to play very many of these seeds, but I generally feel like, oh hey, there's a ribbon -2.
Ribbon -9, still the best hat in the game.
Oh yeah, no, ribbon the any malices that a ribbon gets are completely worth it because it doesn't impact the ribbon's ability to do its actual job.
Mm-hmm. Thor hammer,
Yeah,
in case we
-3.
needed additional.
Yeah, I mean, Thorhammer's at least nice for just being able to put out some punishment. Clem finding that floater after all of that walking and canoeing, probably a little bit irked by that.
You know, it happens.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So, just for the benefit of folks who may be watching this on VOD later, we do have Phoenix FF29 in chat proclaiming that the actual way to prioritize Fiend dungeons is, can you get into Sky? If so, Sky provides. And I'm not going to put your thing into the public record, Ale. We're just going to forget that you ever suggested that.
Ale has been known to have some interesting ideas.
I mean, I'm known to have interesting ideas, and I considered that one too far.
There's the loot, Life Reboot finding it at the ferry. So yeah, we're in the position where we can just kind of do whatever we want at this point. There is a little bit of a sword hunt element here. Life Reboot also will need to dive ice if he wants to promote, but Climinteedus,
1+2, they're fine.
yeah,
You can finish the game with a +2 Sun Sword.
it's true. I'd want a power gauntlet to do it.
Sure, if you're a coward.
I've also done worse, so you know, whatevs.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, but seriously though, I think like so. All right, I'm just trying to think here. So life definitely did see the. Oh no, he hasn't been to Crescent yet. He went straight from the Melman continent to Ordeals, Ordeals to the airship, airship to Gaia and Lefane. So he doesn't know he has an Oxyale sitting in that vendor shop yet, and is going to continue not going there.
I understand. No matter how much sadness it brings me that it hasn't been found yet. I totally get where this is all coming from.
Well,
The,
fortunately, he's about to be pushed back toward Crescent when he looks in this shop and sees that he still doesn't have his vendor. So,
yeah, but you can quick take out Waterfall. He's probably hoping for the tail to be in Waterfall, which will be a big sad. Um, and then stop by Bahamut. I would probably stop by the Cardia Forest Island rather than going down to Bahamut himself, just so I can grab the incentive item. When you have the airship, it's just a little bit faster than taking the double hallway walk.
we basically have linked chests in the Cardia Islands with the Dragon's Horde on.
I like what just happened to Clim's stream there. That was we had a
Minor
wide boy.
technical difficulties, nothing to worry about.
Yeah. It's just nice to have a wide boy sometimes.
But yeah, so. But I could also see Clem going, yeah, this is a little bit of a longer walk, but it means I don't have to park and hit every single box.
There's a chime. That's not so great, but it's okay. Promotion on Climinteedus' side. Aegis +3. That's good to have on the fighter.
That's a minus.
Yeah, -3 still provides a bunch of resistances.
It's still better than the flame -1.
Yes.
In terms of defensive power. Actually, wait. It might be about even with the flame -1, but I assume that Clem is holding out hope of finding some dragon armor. In which case, the flame shield's resistances are pointless. Plus, you can strap that onto a ninja if you find one.
And a cube. So, Sky's an option all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of garbage in that particular room as far as all of the chests. That said, as folks are cheering for Sky, it is an excellent dungeon. It's a good walking grind dungeon, and that's one of the things that's really important in this flag set is determining how exactly you're going to get your experience.
Yeah. But, alright, so Life Reboot, flying back to the Inner Sea, probably gonna make an Ice Cave play. Or heading straight to Volcano. Or, okay, going to Crescent, and then I assume that we're gonna see a dip into ice after this, just because Life still won't have a tail. And I assume that, like, Life wants a tail. That's the only reason to still be making checks.
Yeah. I mean, the flip side of that is Life. Well, did Life just buy the Oxyale in there too? Because that
Yeah.
would be the first access to a secondary Fiend dungeon.
Yeah.
So now we have a justification for going into Volcano and doing all of the checks here, taking out Carrie. He certainly has the resources to do it. Gershark Wizzsahag tile. It's usually thick.
Like a fairly fragile Gershark. Like, considering the levels we're at and the weapons we're swinging, that went down in, what, like 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, it's just never a pleasant tile to try to grind on. Like, they hit hard. They're, like, even when they're relatively thin, they're still pretty thick.
still consider taking a few swipes at it, knowing, like, my situation. Yeah, Life Reboot, finding that dragon armor, so I think we are definitely going to see a nice play after this. Because that's well, actually, we do have a crystal in hand. We may see Life Reboot chase a fetch quest that ends in either a Vorpal or a Ribbon before we see an Ice Cave play, but
Well,
grabbing the promotion equipment is still angling for a tail.
and Life Reboot also hasn't turned in the Adamant and the TNT. So those are 2 additional checks that can be made before diving into ice.
Yeah.
I mean, that more or less clears up pretty much everything. We're gonna get the crown from one of these things and the herb.
So we'll see what life does. But first we're going to see Carrie go down, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the question in my mind is, what are we looking for still? Another ribbon, maybe?
Power bonk.
Power bonk, yeah, that's a good call.
Gargoyle spike tiles make me very sad. That was a katana -2, which also makes me pretty sad.
Yeah, but it is a good enough sword. Like with a class promotion, Life Reboot is going to make good use of that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I tell people, and you know, sometimes I get made fun of for it, sometimes people understand what I'm saying, but a katana is basically equivalent to a Vorpal that's rolled 3 higher than it. So a katana -2 is basically a Vorpal +1. It's,
Yeah.
you know, there are some trade-offs, obviously, but
Yeah.
from there's the other one. This is a juicy tile, but that red mage being at 1 hit point scares the crap out of me.
Thor hammer out from that knight, but okay, we're just going to defense up so that we can at least escape this tile.
You know, we get the nuke off. That's going to clear up over half of the enemies, and the black shirt clears up all but 1 lobster.
Those lobsters are meaty.
Yes.
So I think Life Reboot may decide to follow that rod once he turns in the TNT.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I did like was I didn't see anything super scary out of the seafood. Like, there were no spells. It was just punches.
But we also only got 1 turn of actions, and knowing that those lobsters can take a couple of punches on the chin and keep moving, I'd rather not find out what else they might be able to do. Anyway, speaking of punching things very hard on the chin, Carrie, everyone.
Hello.
So, Life getting another round of evasion stacks out. That fighter is fully evasive now. Red Mage has 2 stacks of invis, so that should be... Okay. Okay, I was about to say Red Mage about to get a 3rd stack, but...
it's okay.
This is a winnable fight for LRB at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, it was just a question of whether or not the Red Mage would get to partake.
2nd fighter available behind Carrie, which is not bad.
I think if Life Reboot already had the tail, we might have seen something, but I think with that tail still in the void, he just doesn't have enough gear to load up 2 fighters.
Yeah, I think the reasonable thought there is, sure, I have the ability to get a 2nd knight, which could be real good. With Fade at level 1, Life 2 learnable by the night. That's real solid. But I have 2 katanas and a sun sword. Adamant turns into the herb.
Is
And I think Crystal turned into the crown.
yeah. So probably we'll see the flight down to Northwest Castle, to the herb turn in, and then we'll see if Life Reboot decides that Tail's too important to leave behind. Because he'll know where it is after this.
Yeah. Vanilla Vorpal from Astos. Which, womp womp, that doesn't feel like a real sword. Even in these flags where it's the best sword that incentives can offer.
I think it's still one of those things where it's worth keeping on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Climinteedus is going to follow the Rod down to take on Lich. Like Reboot shuffling the Vorpal onto the fighter, I think that is a signal that he is going to go find this tail. Or else at least is really hopeful that this herb is a tail and that the ribbon is an ice cave. But I believe... Yep, there's the news that he is going to need to go to Ice Cave for the tail, but...
You never say no to a ribbon.
Yeah, no. You never say no to a ribbon. He's already got one, so at this point, Life Reboot at least doing pretty well defensively. The issue I think he's looking at right now is, do I want to go dive into Ice Cave to be able to put that katana and Vorpal to use?
I just saw a thing. Life
What?
Reboot, I think, just reset out of that ribbon because he walked out to go check the chests. Geist's and Spectres have just wiped Clim out of Earth.
Yeah, that blaze was kind of nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Life is going to pick up on the lack of a second ribbon unless something throws out an elemental attack. And unfortunately, this is just a punchy blue dragon. And also we have Agama.
Agama's a good find.
Oh yeah.
Oh hey, dueling color palettes as we get the Saria on Clim's side. So I think knowing the Agama is there, it's better. Oh, is this? Uh-oh. All right, Life is he's gonna check the forest cave. No, he's going straight to the Bahamut hole, thinking that the tail is at Bahamut.
I thought he already went here. Oh no, that was Clim. So yeah.
Clim promoted.
Yeah, no, I knew one of them had come down here. I just forgot that it was that. In any case.
Does he just hit the reset button? He doesn't. I'm actually surprised.
He may be fishing for the power bonk.
Yeah.
And he is going to take a couple of things out of here, it looks like.
Oh, he apparently saved with the second ribbon. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, downside. He now knows he needs to go to Ice Cave for the tail, and probably doesn't want to.
Understandable.
But... Excuse me. But we'll see if he is, like, just thinking, I just want to go ahead and have a tail.
Ooh, we're getting some Agama facts.
And he's going to ice. He does have warps, and he doesn't really need to do much looting here. So this may be just a quick in and out, nobody gets hurt situation.
Yeah, I suspect it's going to be a warp and exit treatment. We know where the grind is that we're going to take. That Agama is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Which, Climinteedus looking like he's not going to need the grind. I think he's got his party already in the mid-20s, having taken 3 characters the whole time.
Getting a double check on our orbs. Yes, LRB has completed the fire orb. He took out Carrie.
Yeah. Yeah, and Clem, as we can see, hasn't lit any orbs yet, but does have Sea, Earth, and Volcano. Actually, all 4 Fiend dungeons available, so it's just a question of which one Clem wants to dive. But I suspect, given what we saw on Earth, Climinteedus may be thinking, I'm going to go do something more fun. Or at least safer.
Yeah, I definitely respect plays towards Sky. And I think Climinteedus is the kind of person who would do that.
I mean, and again, the Kraken play is on the table.
It is, but do you really want to walk around on the Ograk continent? I say no. I think it's a terrible place to be.
You're not wrong. That place is kind of a hole, but...
Alright. LRB has promoted, which means we have last location of that tail into... We should have a full rack here. So, yeah, let's get ready to go. We get a Dragon Armor +1 on. That's always feeling good. We have 2 ribbons. We have a Vorpal and a Sun Sword. And, we can do things with that.
We also have that Katana -2 going on.
Mm-hmm.
So...
I'm questioning if... I'm questioning if we're going to see that thief come up anytime soon. I don't know that there's a lot of value in him. Right, Climinteedus making the volcano dive, skipping past the armory, unless he was looting it out already.
Okay, the only reason to bring that thief up, now that it's a ninja, Saber was at level 4. You could bring that thief up and probably get enough shots of Saber, and get your 4 shots of Saber. It doesn't look like Life Reboot's doing that, but you could.
Yeah. The other thought is it's just another nuke caster. Put a couple levels on it, and you've got 4 charges of nuke to add in.
Yeah. Now, I would bring the thief up, personally, but it looks like Life Reboot is opting to just pump some experience into this fighter so that even a vanilla Vorpal's gonna hurt.
I respect that. And, I mean, this Blue D is making quick work of that Red Mage, so it's Agama time. Look at the watch. Yep. And, we're gonna Vorp the heck out of these things.
But yeah, they're going down real quick to the Vorp, so... The nice thing about this grind, too, is because there are no random encounters in Northwest Castle, you can just walk on and off that square all day and not have to worry. And then it's a quick exit, so...
Ooh, Climinteedus getting wiped out by Carrie. I think LRB just had a little bit more gas in the tank, so to speak, when coming into this fight, in part because of having a full party at the time, or at least 3-man that had some tools to it, and was able to throw out some nukes and use the white shirt to get invis.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we saw how badly Carrie plastered Life Reboot's Thief.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, Life was still putting levels on the Thief. That's actually, I believe, what killed the Thief that we haven't brought back up. I mean,
Cyrano's
serious.
asking the big questions here, yeah.
Okay, to be fair, Carry 1 is a fiend that you almost always have to respect. Even on the first go round. Like, she gets a lot of attacks. She has a stupidly good MDef. It's one of those things you can't underestimate Carry. And yeah, there is our knight getting life 2. And Life Reboot remembering that he needs to go stay at a hotel to actually get those spell charges, but we'll be picking the party up here, or at least the ones that Life Reboot wants alive, and it's everyone.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
All right, round 2 against Carry 1. We're getting Invis 2s. We had a nuke. We have a defense on the fighter. The fighter did take a hit to the chin, but I think it's going to be okay. Nuke comes out, 120. Ink defense. We get a fade. 127, and down goes Carry 1. So we're both at 1 orb apiece. Life picking up some spells. You know, it's kind of funny. We haven't seen Temper, to my knowledge.
No, we have not.
Which means it's gross.
Well, we know thanks to our tracker, Flower Power 718, that Temper's over in Gaia at the level 7 shops.
Yeah, and I think it's not in a Red Wizard learnable slot. So I think we are going without. That tells me, as, you know, the kind of person that I am, that we just need to, you know, put additional bulk on that knight and call it a day.
Not unless we want to go doing some serious digging.
Yeah.
Although Earth Cave,
it has some of the better trap tile chests, like this room right here that Life Reboot's going into.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is we can at least kick in the door here and take a look.
Climinteedus, by the by, Dubin Sky. Which, I mean, that's...
Considering what's happened in every other dungeon that he's gone into?
Well, I mean, all right. So he's got reasonable levels across the board, you know, with 300 some hit points on both the red and the white wizards. However, yeah, he's definitely gotten his teeth kicked in repeatedly. And I don't see that necessarily changing in this dungeon, because it seems like this whole seed is rolling rude in the dungeons.
Well, okay, but here's the flip side. He knows that there's a bunch of rudeness in the other dungeons, which means that rudeness can't be here.
True.
So this may be just well, I know that there's bad crap literally everywhere else, so therefore there can't be much bad crap here. But
I'm really surprised at how many encounters he's choosing to run from here. Like,
well, he's already mid to high 20s. Oh, hi Warmac.
Bye Warmac. It doesn't matter though, because what I've learned in these seeds is that Toph are going to Toph, and you can't always expect a mid-20s party to actually pull it off successfully. So there was a white mage behind Tiamat, there was a thief behind Lich. We'll never know what was behind Kraken. But that is 2 orbs for Life Reboot.
So
technically ready to go.
Okay, so I will point out for Climinteedus, he may be thinking, once I can get into Temple of Fiends, that's where I'm going to grind. Because Temple of Fiends Revisited is not a bad grind spot. But yeah, Life Reboot, feeling pretty confident, it looks like, just sprinting right in.
I think Life Reboot has plenty of tools available. Now, I don't know if he stopped by to pick up Fade at the level 2 shop on the night. I don't think he did.
I think the knight's only spell is Life 2.
I mean, that seems on brand for the name. But at the same time, it's real nice to just have the extra fades.
But so Life doesn't know all of the problems Climinteedus has been having. So in Life's mind, he knows that Climinteedus is a solid runner. He may be thinking, I don't have time to go shopping. I already wasted so much time digging for the tail. I just need to go.
That's true. Tiamat 1 down, not without a struggle, though. Life reboot onto the Lich 2 floor.
Yep. Climinteedus has his second orb lit. He is Temple of Fiends ready. We're just going to see when he decides to go in, if he decides to do anything else. His levels aren't looking bad. The big thing for right now is just like the lack of a power gauntlet, the lack of a few other tools, but like Life Reboot, it looks like he's probably going to come pick up the fast spell here in Melmond. Yep, there we go. So, both runners do have fast in their tool belt and more than enough charges to use it.
Lich apparently packing a little bit of a punch because Exit got taken out there. Poor
Also,
little white wizard Exit.
Just really fragile. Like,
yeah, but it seemed like a pretty reasonable amount of damage hit the party.
Well, I mean, Exit is a good 10 levels below everyone else in the party.
That's true.
Exit went down before Life Reboot even went into Volcano. I think Exit got taken out in like Marsh Cave or maybe Ordeals. So that's something to consider, is that like it's not necessarily Lich hit hard, it's that Exit is just kind of weak.
All right, so Life Reboot did not heal up before going to carry 2. There was damage poison, and was that a nuclear, and a zap, and a fire 3. You know, we're seeing the business coming out here, but oof. There's a tornado. All right. But terminated. The knight still has about half its hit points left.
Well, I mean, bear in mind that the fighter started with bonus IMDef, and that was like 3 levels worth of magic defense. So that knight has a lot of tools in addition to the defense from the dragon armor.
That's true.
And the resistances from the ribbons, so...
Climinteedus also in Topher.
That was a fantastic run through Waterfloor.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to deal with those bulky lobsters is definitely something that Life Reboot is probably happy to see. Although I don't know. No, did Life actually see the Seafood Party pack?
That is also a good question. All right, we're getting heal strats out. We, I think, did not heal up the knight before heading into this fight.
No, I think we did. I think that Kraken's lit 2 just... Well, no, I think you're right. But this should be the end. Ooh.
Oh,
not great.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Well, the red mage is still up, so we're not having to dip too... Okay, never mind.
So what I'm really concerned about here is we actually have been seeing like 1 and 2 hits. There's 3 hits for 228. This is a very evasive Kraken.
Oh, it's getting dire, but we pull through. Alright. So Life 2 is going to come out again. And yeah, that confirms we only have Life 2 on that knight. But Life Reboot spreading out the revivals and going to tap into the potion supply to heal up this night before we move forward. And yeah, no random encounters on the water floor. Very convenient.
It is.
Yeah, Climinteedus, meanwhile, pulling up to Lich 2 and
The disrespect kill with the black shirt cast. Ice 2, an element that Lich resists, but it's just enough chip damage to take him out.
And I didn't notice when Climinteedus grabbed grabbed the second fighter behind Carrie.
Well, I mean, at least we know it was the fighter behind Carrie. So, opening nuke from Tiamat? No. Oh no.
Oh,
That was a big melee crit.
That's bad. Yeah, I think you just start hurling nukes and hope for the best.
Yep. Well, there was the best, unfortunately.
I mean, there's only so much you can do. So that tips things back to Climinteedus. The big thing to note, though, is Life Reboot, I think, has the better defensive situation. Because I don't think Clim got that dragon armor out of Volcano. Also, thank you, Kyleo, for the bless you. So, I don't know what Climinteedus is running with in terms of armor. But we've seen that this Temple of Fiends punches hard. So that's something we might want to watch for. Ooh, but that carry breaking out the zap and taking out... Did Clem ever follow the herb and get that second ribbon?
I don't know. He did follow the get life 2 on your night, though. So that's good. Also,
So-
the scariest warp location in the menu. Like, having warp in before your life, like, so that you have to menu over the top of it, it scares the crap out of me.
But yeah, I do have to agree with Kyleo in chat. This is why we call Temple of Fiends the Great Equalizer. You can get in minutes before your opponent, and just the dungeon suddenly decides, hey, you know what would be cool? If you did everything you just did again. So, but Climinteedus, coming up on this Kraken fight, probably going to hold off on bringing up the ablative shielding that is the fighter known as Blank.
Not blank, just gonna chill.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Clem moved the knight up and then forgot that he hadn't picked picked him up anyway. But life already back to carry 2. That zap does what zap does, but it's fine. Thinks about defensing up the fighter again, decides instead to just try and burn carry down quickly. Meanwhile, Climinteedus, like Life Reboot, stuck with just a knight on his feet to get through this Kraken.
This Topher, man.
Yeah, no, this is
That was a
This is
slow
tough.
that just a slow 2 landed.
yeah.
Cleared out the fast that he had on the night. I mean, at least there was a fast before the slow 2 hit, so it's just back to normal hits.
Yeah. But you're still now having to chip down a Kraken 2 that has nuclear, among other things.
Yup. There it is.
He gets through it, but this is going to eat into his healing supplies something fierce. I do not agree with that.
I think that was a miss menu. And yeah, that's a scary miss menu.
Yeah, you want to conserve those life 2 charges on that night. Like, he still has 1, so he'll be able to pick up the party if he gets through Tia 2. Because I imagine that Tia 2 is about to take out everyone that is not sporting a buzz cut.
Yeah. And one that is.
Yes, also true.
That poor white wizard got the Kraken 2 treatment from a Tia 2.
That ate a punch that the rest of the party didn't have to take, so, you know, sometimes sacrifices are necessary. Yeah, so Climinteedus making sure to defense up that night. Life Reboot catching up, though. I was not even looking over there. We have both runners in Tia 2. This could come down to the wire.
Life Reboot's execution is very good.
Yeah, depending on how Life Reboot prosecutes this fight. Yeah, so Clem having to heal up. We'll probably see Life Reboot need to make the same shuffle. Newt comes out. 7 hits for 368, it looked like. Life just gonna swing again. Inferno drops. Yeah, this is Hold A and Pray territory for Life Reboot, and he is also through Tia 2, so this is gonna be real close here.
Sure is.
Yeah, gonna do a quick patch job. Just gonna go, ooh, I like that. Having saved the Life 2s, Life Reboot can just rapid menu pick the party up. I think he's already squared away. He's gonna be into chaos right behind Climinteedus, and this is gonna be tight, everyone.
So, did I just see an Exfer?
I think you just saw an Exfer. Do we have Brack? I didn't think we picked up Brack.
I don't
no,
think
Brack
we did.
was level 8. Not that it matters, because the red mage goes down on Life Reboot's side. Did he get the fast off?
I did not see.
Yeah, Climinteedus, it looks like, not getting too much benefit from the fast on his knight. Newt comes out, and we
Was
see
that
Life...
Stone Touch on this chaos?
I think it might be. Life Reboot's early defenses coming in handy. Getting swings off with both the ninja and the knight. Climinteedus down to hold aim prey strats on the fighter. Still facing carry. It looks like he may have gotten Chaos into a damage loop of some sort, or this is just a very punchy Chaos.
Just seems punchy.
Yeah. God, I don't know which screen to watch, but yeah, Life Reboot not getting as much damage out as Climinteedus does.
I think the fast had to have landed because that was 6 hits off of that night, and Climinteedus terminates Chaos.
Indeed, and Life Reboot still swinging away, the ninja doing chip damage, but Chaos can't hit anyone, and they're going to get through this. It's just a question of how many more swings. I'm really just curious to see if we'll see Chaos go down on Life Reboot's side before it finishes fading on Climinteedus' side. And it's looking like that's probably not going to happen, just because, yeah, that red mage going down before the fast could go off probably made the difference in this fight.
It does look like we have Climinteedus in the waiting room, so I'm just going to drag him on down here.
Alrighty.
Welcome to the booth, Climinteedus. GG.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, GG. I'm assuming that you got to watch how close things got right there at the end.
I'm watching it right now, actually.
Yeah, no, you walked into chaos maybe 20 seconds ahead of Life Reboot.
Really now? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Life Reboot did have a dive that ended at Tia 2 as you were coming into Topher, and so you had a bit of a lead on Life's second dive, but he caught up at Tia 2, and just the fast didn't go off from the Red Mage, and
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Life
So,
Reboot also finishing here, though.
yeah. So, just so it's clear to everyone, there was a bit of delay going into this. The racetime.gg room shows Climinteedus finishing at an hour, 1 minute, and 52 seconds, and Life Reboot at an hour, 2 minutes, and 13 seconds. So, Clem, I'm guessing that was a matter of. I'm guessing you didn't, delay hitting done.
I tried to finish like normally there's a button clicking they click for a finish, and it wasn't available. So I was like trying to go through like all the different commands. I'm like, oh no, let me try this, and then somebody showed me the proper one. But I think it was probably like no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm seeing that now with the timestamps. Yeah. So you started asking about 2 minutes prior. Okay. So the timing worked out a little bit different, but the point being,
Pretty close.
GG, and Life Reboot, GG to you as well.
Thank you. GG, Clem.
Yeah, of course, very good game. That was a Tyson.
Yeah, so to start things off, Life, you and Clem both got into chaos at about the same time. The big difference is Clem was able to get that fast off, whereas your Red Mage, it looked like, got taken down before the fast could go off.
Yes, that is correct. My Red Mage got deleted by Chaos in the same way my Fighter got deleted by Tia2. Oh, that first time was sad.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but I mean, you rallied back hard, because I think Climinteedus was already to Earth Floor when you started your second dive, and you managed to bring it real close there at the end.
Thank you.
So, all right, let's start with a little bit of questions about routing. So, Clint, you fish out the ruby, and you already have the ship and canal in hand. What was your reasoning behind going over to Crescent and Ice rather than, say, hopping out and going over to the Melman area?
I forgot that I had the canal.
Okay, that would do it. See, we were sitting here trying to figure out what the game plan there was, but that makes sense. All right.
Oh, like my routing was complete garbage on this run. Like I was going everywhere, which way, and it just surprisingly came out as well as it did.
Yeah. So Life. A similar note. Why did you stay away from Crescent Lake so long? Did you just kind of forget you hadn't been there, or was it a deliberate choice to kind of hit other places and just go to Crescent when you ran out of ideas?
No, I, intentionally went south to turn in the bottle, thinking, I'm gonna do things like collect what's in Gaia. Maybe the item is in the item shop there. If not, I'm gonna pop over to Waterfall, check the. There's been a lot of tail for sale in the Oasis shop for me in these flags. So that's like sort of where I lean to. Of course, I don't know if you noticed at the start, I exited out to check the Better Trap treasure and the spike tile in Temple of Fiends right at the beginning, and I found Blaze on the undeads there. So that steered me away from Ice, allowing me to full clear the entire game before finally going into Ice to get the tail. So that was a giant time sink.
Yeah. What did you give any thought to just saying, you know what? I'm just gonna take the Sunsword +2 and have a dream.
No, never. If I had the Power Gauntlet, maybe. But, I mean, with a deleted Massa, I definitely hang out for the Vorpal wherever I might find it, and I don't love it, but it's I am fighter strats more than thief strats generally, so
I mean, even when
I wanted to stay with the plan to get the Vorpal.
I mean, even when you found the Agama tile, though, like, you know, did the thought cross your mind, I could just grind this fighter up and go?
I don't know. It's always been the wrong choice in every single seed I've played officially in the pods. I'm gonna take this fighter to 42, and then that was the wrong choice. I'm gonna enter Topher at 30, and that was the wrong choice. I've been beaten up by these flags. It's kind of been rough.
So you're looking forward to moving on to other flags, or is it just going to get worse from here?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So Clem, jumping back to you. So you opted for the 3-man strat out the gate. Was that just to funnel all of the experience into the characters you expected to use? Did you just not see anything on the thief to make you go, I might take that? Because Life did take a thief out the gate. So was that just an XP funneling choice, or was that an XP funneling choice influenced by the Blursings?
The Blursings weren't influenced. I just really haven't run 4-man parties in a very long time, and I felt as though like the funneling of the XP would be a much better investment than trying to be like, oh, well, let me see what's just going to work out between the fighter and the thief, or if I want to use both of them. I'm just not used to really running with 4 players. That's it.
Okay, makes sense. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else really interesting that happened. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that happened. Most of it, made sense.
I have a question. What dungeon did Clem do other than Volcano, I'm assuming?
Sky.
Yeah,
Anything of interest there?
Well, I initially dove into Earth to see if I could clear out a quick Earth, and then that's when I saw, was it the zombies with Blaze or whatever undead had Blaze? I didn't even see an ice cave. I just saw it in Earth. I'm like, no. And then I just kind of went with Proxy Blaze.
Yeah. Did either of you have any inclination to go just do the Kraken run, or, is that one of those plays that you both consider? Because I know Saracen, more or less, is of the opinion that, the Kraken play is only worth if you're already over there with the Oxyel and checking Waterfall. Were either of you tempted to maybe go for Kraken instead of the other 2 Fiends?
I thought about it for, a minute, but the only reason why I would have gone through C is if I needed more levels. But since I took the Mage grind in Waterfall, I was around level 23, I think. So I really didn't want to bother with whatever nasty things can pop up and see, so I just kind of went with Sky and Volcano after all.
As for me, I totally agree with Saracen. If I have Oxyel in hand when I'm checking Waterfall, I'll do it, especially if I have Bane or Brack. But I did not have Oxyel when I checked Waterfall and the item shops there. So I just was like, nope, we're going to be in the vicinity somewhere else. So after my grind, I just moved over to Earth Cave.
Oh yeah, Clem, in case it wasn't clear, so we did find the Agama grind in Northwest Castle.
One of the spike tiles there?
Yeah. So that's what Life was leveling off of, rather than the mage grind you did. So, all right. Saracen, can you think of any questions for these 2?
Well, there's one, and I feel like Clem has already half answered it, but you see level 1 nuke. What's stopping you from re-rolling to get a second red mage or a black mage to go with your red mage?
I thought about it for a few seconds as well, but I just thought I would fumble with trying to rename my characters and party.
Oh, you just named them all.
You gotta at least do ba 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 ba.
That really irritates me seeing that through an entire playthrough.
Yeah, I also don't like to second guess my party choice. I had, selected Fighter Thief red white and avoided the black because it had a -4 MP malice.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just, I'm not gonna pick up that ever. So, I mean, it could have changed the scale a little bit, having nukes against those early blazes instead of wiping out, and then maybe against Tia 2, but I can't second guess myself now, right?
I totally hear that. I just, as we went through the rest of the seed and we saw the magic unfold, and it just kept looking like one of those perfect red mage seeds. Other than, we never really found temper, other than, if you checked Gaia level 7, that's where it was. But yeah, it was just one of those early decisions that's, I think, really challenging to make for a variety of reasons. And part of it is, you've already made your game plan. You kind of want to stick with it. And you never know what's actually popping up after level 1. So, no disrespect here. I like to hear those thoughts.
We can probably go ahead and start moving toward sort of wrapping up here. So, Life Reboot, you have any other thoughts on this seed, on the tournament so far?
No, just really well played. Clem lulled me into a sense that I might be able to take this because saying he hadn't practiced these flags. So don't sleep on Clem, other people in the Joker pod, and good luck in the brackets, Clem. Congrats again.
I'll look to you, Life Reboot. I wish you the best.
Yeah, Clem, anything else you want to add?
No thanks. I hope everyone has fun with the tournament, and I'll see you guys for the next 2 pods.
All right. Then, yeah. Shoutouts again to Flower Power 718 for handling the tracking, and ADR for jumping in to do the restream here. Saracen, if you've got any final thoughts, go ahead and toss them out. Otherwise, I think we can start wrapping up here and let folks know when the next bit of action is going to be.
Well, heck yeah. So, echoing the thanks, ADR jumping in basically as I was about to write off the idea of a restream entirely. So thank you so much, ADR, for doing the restream, Flower Power for doing the tracking here, and Wout, my co-coms. It's always great to be in the booth with you, man. And I'm just going to put in a quick plug here before we get to what is coming up later tonight in our winter tournament action. We do have, after the winter tournament, the Duckling Boot Camp, which is something that Luffy DV and I are running this time around. So that's going to be end of March. That's our new player program where we introduce folks to the randomizer. We teach you the basics of the randomizer and go through all sorts of different flags so you can learn whatever fun way to play for you is out there. So I hope if you're new to the randomizer, or if you've been here a while but you haven't really taken the basic course, if you so choose to put it that way, that you come by, hang out with us during the Duckling Boot Camp. Again, that's the end of March, and that will be 6 weeks of courses, more or less, followed by the Duckling Derby, which is a tournament just for the new players. So hope to see you there. And yeah, with that, Wout, take us on home.
So yeah, if you want more Final Fantasy Randomizer action tonight, we still have some action on the board. At 9:15 Eastern over on twitch.tv/Final Fantasy Randomizer, our community channel, we are going to have Windfox 470 versus Gouda 632 in a Kefka pod matchup. So that should be really fun. And if you want to come back over here to RPG Limit Break at 10 p.m. Eastern, Rubes and Shadow Mr. T are going to be going head-to-head in the Uncle Nutsy pod. So, if either of those sound like your cup of tea, or if you're just like, I've got to get more of this madness, then You got 2 more options on the table, and if you want to keep up to date on when any of these races are going to be run, we've got a Discord that's linked there in chat. It'll be probably linked elsewhere if you're watching this on VOD. You can also just go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and find a link through that. We do keep a running post on what the next race is going to be. You can even sign up for a roll to get pinged when there are new races. And if you join, we don't even have a little thingy that says people, hey, some random person's jumped in. That's shunted off into a channel no one can see. So you can just sneak on, keep an eye on that. You know, unlurk at your personal discretion. But all that being said, we're going to get out of here for now. So we hope to see y'all later tonight and in the future. So take care, everyone. Good night.